Hey there, it's Olivia-Savannah here with
Simone.
And we are here to talk about some books that we've both read. You know Simone from the Wheelchair Teen blog, or you've seen two other videos that I have with her. The first one which is called Meet My Sister, and the second one which was
Reviewing disabled books.
Today we've got 5 books that we're just going to chat about and share our opinions of, and I've chosen 2 where we share the same opinion, 1 where we both kind of have mixed opinions, and 2 where we disagree. So the first book that we're going to talk about is Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. This book has been all over BookTube lately because the Netflix adaptation just recently came out. This one is about Alina, who is an orphan, and she finds out that she has some magical powers which thrust her into a world that she's never known before, and there is the Darkling there who is brooding. So Simone, what do you think about this book? Because I gave this one to you because I thought you'd be interested in the magical powers.
I thought that it was okay. Not like the characters. There weren't just any characters that really stood out to me. The plot was mediocre.
And, you know, I read this one when I was a teenager and I was quite enraptured by the Darkling. And I think the Darkling and Alina's interactions with the Darkling were my favourite thing about this book. But in hindsight, I would also say it was okay. And I'm kind of glad you didn't read the rest of the series because I think it went downhill from there.
My favourite character was that moose reindeer.
The animal.
Yeah.
But what do you think about the Darkling in the TV series?
No, he's also just okay.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Does he look more than okay, Simone?
Well, I like Ben Barnes and I respect him as an actor, so...
And you respect his face.
No,
yeah, you do.
That's so weird.
But what do you think of the TV series? You can say your honest opinion. We've been watching it together, and how many episodes have you seen so far?
3.
3 episodes. What do you think of the first 3 episodes?
Not much has happened yet. Yeah, I don't really like it that much. Usually I like more to have happened in the first 3 episodes of 45 minutes.
And I will agree with you on that one. Okay, we're going to move right along to our next book. So the next book that we are going to talk about is one that we both loved. And that is The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. And we also watched the film together, didn't we? This one follows Star, who lives in America, and she is with her friend when he is murdered by the police, and it's about what happens after that. So, again, what did you think of The Hate You Give?
I cried. I found it to be really emotional, and I liked how they handled different aspects of the story from all sides, kind of the family's perspective. There was a police officer who the main character is related to, and I found it really well executed.
I definitely agree. I think it handled all of its themes so very well, and I really liked Star as the main character. Often I don't love the main character as much as some of the side characters, but I think Star as a main character was a very good one to follow. And actually I thought that adaptation was pretty good. Would you agree?
Yeah. In the film, they could have had a bit more trust in the audience and maybe didn't need to force feed exposition as much.
I can distinctly remember one scene where it was just like, let's use narration to tell you the meaning of this scene, and you think it's the same scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I do think the book was a bit more nuanced with like showing you things and letting the reader cotton on and understand the importance of what was being said. But that was a very good book, and it's written years ago now, and it's still, sadly, incredibly relevant.
Yeah.
Now let's move on to a book that we disagree on strongly. We strongly disagree on, and that book is It by Stephen King. So It by Stephen King, oh, she's nervous about this one.
I'm not nervous.
It by Stephen King is about...
It's an evil clown who's killing some children, and then there's a group of weirdos, and
they try to defeat the clown.
It was my first big book. Until then, I had not read a book that was past 800 pages. This one was 1,500. So I felt really proud being able to read a book that big in school, and it was my first real adult book, my first horror book. And I found the characters to be interesting, and even though it was so big, I was still there the whole way. And I still wanted to, it's kind of like a TV show, I wanted to still know all the different episodes even though the show had gone on for many seasons. So that's why I kind of like that.
And you really liked the friendship group most of all.
Yeah.
Why did you like the friendship group so much?
I think I just liked it because they each had different personalities and kids, and some of them were relatable. Yeah.
I think that makes sense. Actually, found family is a trope that I really like, so it's kind of surprising that I didn't like it in this book. But I think, I've already talked about it extensively on this channel. The reasons I didn't like it had more so to do with the representation issues rather than characters. There was one character that I liked.
Who was it?
It was Eddie.
I like Eddie.
Yeah, I did like Eddie's character, but yeah, it wasn't really a book that clicked for me in terms of representation. I just found it very disturbing, and I didn't find the book scary like I wanted to. I'd read, unlike Simone, it wasn't my first horror book, and I'd read other horror before, and I feel like other horror I found more creepy than it.
Our favourite parts in the book are the same though.
That's true, our favourite part in the book is definitely the same, and I found that more horrific than any of the supernatural horror that was happening, because it was more of a horror that was grounded in reality. And I think horror that's grounded in reality is definitely my favourite kind of horror. It's more like psychological, it's more like this could really happen to you, and therefore that's my kind of horror. What did you think about the adaptation?
I liked the film. I liked the actor's performance.
So you liked the casting. I didn't really like the film. There was too much shouting. And it's a horror film. Actually, I think a lot of the horror films I watch don't have that much screaming or shouting.
Yeah, well, do they have much children? It's probably because they're children.
Which is true. No, but what about in Us? There's children there. They ain't screaming a lot.
And they've got their parents with them. And there's not as many children.
Fine. And that is Beartown by Frederick Backman. This was another case of I read it and then had to give it to Simone because she needed to read it as well. Anyway, what did you think of Beartown?
Yeah, I really liked it. It didn't go where I expected it to go. The whole plot actually was a surprise for me because the book is sold as something else than what it is.
That's true. And I think if you're not expecting the plot, it can be quite shocking, but
it mirrors how it's like in real life.
That's true. It does mirror how it is in real life, and I really liked the characters and how detailed every single character was. And who was your favourite character? Or who were some of your favourite characters?
I can't remember any of their names.
Oh, just describe what they do and then I'll tell you the name.
The puny boy.
Amat.
Whoa!
I was like, do I remember any of the names?
Character superpowers. And the child with the beard.
The child with the beard? Bobo.
Yeah, wow!
I really liked Bobo too. I liked Bobo a lot and I really liked Benji.
Oh yeah, Benji was nice.
I really liked Benji. And I think the character development was A+, and the message was very clear and very well received. Would you recommend this to other people?
Yes.
Would you want to watch the TV series for this?
They're making a TV series.
There already is one. That is A Heart So Fierce and Broken by Brigid Kemmerer. So you've read the first one?
And the second one.
And the second one, me too, and I haven't read the third one as of this video. So in the first one it's a Beauty and Beast retelling with a main character with cerebral palsy, and it kind of doesn't follow Beauty and Beast. It goes off the storyline of Beauty and Beast very quickly.
No. I can think of many subtle correlations.
I think it does have many subtle correlations, but it's not really a line-by-line retelling like some of the rest are.
No.
Like, for example...
It's a loose retelling.
It's a loose retelling. Like, Cinder is a much closer retelling. But, yeah, so the sequel... What did you think of the sequel, Simone?
That's not a sequel.
This is the sequel to A Curse of Dark and Lonely.
Oh, that's why you said we had different opinions.
So some people really don't like Ren's character transformation in this one and they find it unrealistic. What do you think about that?
I thought it was realistic for his character.
Okay, me too. I was in the same opinion with that.
I thought actually the character that was most not like themselves was Harper.
And I would agree with you. I think what Harper does in this one, it doesn't align with her values in the first book.
Yeah, and she's very much transformed into the clingy girlfriend who's trying to be a peacemaker, like, oh, he doesn't know what he's doing, you know, and she wasn't really like that before.
Yeah, I agree actually. We agree. We share opinions, but we'd have different ratings of the book. Did you like Leigh, who were introduced to in this one?
I don't really remember her that well, and I think that kind of speaks to...
That's true, that speaks volumes. And Grey, what do you think of Grey's development? Because Grey also changes a lot in this book.
I don't know.
You don't know? It's okay.
He's very muscular. my favourite character was that little boy.
Taicho?
Taicho. Oh, he's so cute.
Sorry, can we take it back to when you were like, he's very muscular?
Yeah, because I feel like he was much more shirtless in this book. Because, let's just say something happened to his body. And I guess before we just pictured him as lean and kind of tall, but this book clearly showed that he had a more muscular build.
He has a muscular build. In the first book, he's the bodyguard.
You don't have to be a muscular bodyguard.
You don't have to be a muscular bodyguard, but I always remember the fact that he was a muscular bodyguard.
Well, that's because he was your favourite, right?
That's true. But yeah, Taicho was adorable. I thought he
Yeah.
was so cute. He was another great character. He's introduced in this one, right?
Yeah, he's really cute.
Yeah, he was cute. But so we shared the same opinions, but I loved it and you thought it was okay.
Yeah, I thought it was okay, maybe because in the last book it was kind of like the main characters that were my favourite. But in this one, Grey and Leigh for me were okay, and I liked characters like Taicho and that kind of thing.
No, you like the side characters more. Did you like Ren in the first one?
And I liked Harper.
Okay, I liked Harper as well, and I just felt okay about Ren. And then
Yeah.
I loved Harper and Grey.
Yeah.
But I did like Leigh in this one. I feel like Leigh is closer to how I am.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
That's yeah.
So that's our thought on these 5 books. Let us know in the comment section down below if you've read any of these, if you agree, disagree. Comment section down below, please let us know what was a book that was so good that you had to recommend it to someone that you know in real life and they actually read it. Or if they didn't read it, that's okay as well. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Hit the subscribe button if you want to see more, and don't you forget to hit the notification bell to be updated every time I have a new video on this channel. And you know what they say, onwards and upwards. Excelsior! I loved Bobo.
Bobo the fool.
That's Boo-Boo the Fool. Bobo the Fool. He is a fool though.
Yeah, true. Okay, cut that bit out. Then.
No, I'm going to put it there.
No,
so you can feel the shame. Anyway, that's our thoughts on these 5 books. That's so shit. What?
I just realised something. Never mind.
Do you want to say it?
No.
Go, wait, no, just tell me what it is. I won't put it in the video.
I just realised this is going on the internet.
Oh, you're so cute.